très attendu avec David et Brandon Cronenberg, The Masters of the Silence.
Okay, thank you. I want to ask both of you to begin by telling us a little bit about what it's been like this week so far. You are the first, as I've said, to present films in the same year, the first father and son. What's that been like for you? David?
Bram? David? Well, it was pretty great to see Brad go up the red carpet, you know. Very emotional for me, really, because as I said to Brad, it took me 20 years to get to Canada. Here he is, his first film. But it was really terrific because I've seen the movie and I knew it was a terrific film. So I was very excited for him, and it was just really, you know, very touching and terrific and exciting.
And Brandon, what was it like to drag your dad along for your premiere here?
It was good. It's all really adorable and cute and I agree, quite emotional.
Well, your father's films that first attracted you. Was it the music? What were the elements that drew you first?
You mean watching films or?
Yeah, to watching films, and maybe specifically your father's films.
I'm not sure if it was one element. I think film is just a very interesting art form, first of all, because it does involve all those elements, visual elements and writing elements, but also it's just very much at the forefront of our culture. It's a very visible art form, so you can't help but be affected by it in some way.
And in terms of other art forms, you mentioned that you worked as a writer and an illustrator as well. David, do you recall introducing Brandon to certain things, taking him to museums, or saying you have to read this book, or trying to introduce him to the things that are formative in your development?
Well, I basically tried to just lock him in his room, because, you know, but he did get out sometimes. Yeah, we of course, we took him, you know, everywhere. I mean, did you go to ROM camp?
Yeah, I went to ROM camp.
Yeah,
ROM is the Royal Ontario Museum in Toronto.
It's the geekiest camp. It's the geekiest camp. You made paper airplanes, but it was all about science.
I'm sorry about that. You know, you'll learn about these things later. You try to be a good parent, but...
How did you learn how to speak to actors? Because that's sometimes the hardest thing for directors who know the technical side of the craft very well.
I'm not sure. I think I'm still figuring it out. That's definitely something that I'm kind of learning more and more as I do it, and I think you can only probably learn that from doing it. And also, in my only limited experience, I find it very different from actor to actor, the way you need to communicate, and so I don't know. I guess it's just something that I've started to pick up as I've done a little bit of filmmaking.
David, could you talk a little bit about your evolution in terms of working with actors, from the very first films to the way that you work with actors now?
Yeah, it is something that you have to do. It was always interesting to me, for example, when a cinematographer would suddenly become a director, and the shock that they would experience, because they think they know because they're right next to you while you're making a movie. And then suddenly, when they're directing, they're overwhelmed by everything. And of course, it's something they have to relate to actors in a very different way than they do as a cinematographer and so on. And so, in fact, there's nothing that could prepare Brand or anybody else for the reality of doing that, other than actually doing it. That is really true. You can be right there every day on the set like a cinematographer, and it still won't prepare you for what directing is and how overwhelming it can be. So you just have to do it. And that was the same with me. I mean, as a kid, I had done some theater. I actually was a child actor in a theatrical play for a while and things like that. But being a director of actors, and especially screen actors, because it's a different kind of acting, is quite different. And you have to, I mean, really seeing it, watching movies is really the preparation for it. For at least getting a sense of what you like in acting, and the style of acting, and the tone of acting, how real, how stylized, how over-dramatic or under-dramatic. You get a taste of what you want as a director, but that still, of course, doesn't tell you how to get that from an actor. And then, yes, every actor is different. and they all need different things.